So what I want you to think about here is, as you're reading this, tell me, what is the conclusion? What are the premises? And what do you think is the mistake that this union member is making without looking at the choices?
Some members of labor union are calling. I feel like we must strike now is the conclusion.
Does it say we must strike now, or?
Oh, sorry.
I agree. So the word therefore, by the way, is
Indicator.
it's usually a giveaway. That's the conclusion. And then
a strike would cut into our strike fund and would in addition lead to a steep fine, causing us to suffer a major financial loss is the premise.
Yep, exactly. And then this first one is just the other people's opinion. So this is something we didn't talk about yet, but other person's argument is something that will come up a lot. So you've probably seen it. And when I tell you about it, you'll realize, oh yeah, I've seen those. Where first they bring up what other people think, and then they either agree with it or way more likely they disagree with it, right?
Yeah.
So do you see that that's what's happening here? So they're bringing up some other person's argument, some other group's argument. It doesn't have to be one person. It could be group of people, class of people, whatever. So some people say that we should go for an immediate strike. However, we must not strike now because it would be a major financial issue for us, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. So very typical argument on the LSAT. Do you think this fits into one of our logical fallacies that we talked about?
Like a flaw question.
But remember the logical fallacies that we talked about. We talked about unrepresentative sample, part versus whole, and all of those. Would you say this one fits into one of them?
I feel like it could be a part versus whole.
I agree. It's not potentially the only mistake here, but it could fit into part versus whole. Why do you think so?
Because it says a strike would cut into our strike fund and would in addition lead to a steep fine. It doesn't necessarily it could be for other reasons as well.
Exactly. So other reasons to strike or to not strike? Yes, to strike, because this person is saying don't strike. Yes. So if we're it's a flaw question, we want to kind of take the opposite stance, right? Which is, well, what about the benefits of striking now? Because there might be a financial loss. However,
but you could
maybe there's other benefits, right? That's what you're going to say?
Yeah.
Exactly. Cool. Perfect. So do you see how, so by the way, I picked these questions at random, and it just happens that the question that we picked at random is one of the ones that we talked about. So this happens all the time when I'm doing lessons and stuff, is that these things are so common that you can just pick a question randomly and run into the thing that we just talked about, right?
Yeah.
And now I think, not just now, but I think when you review these things and really internalize them, then you'll notice these things. You'll notice the patterns. Even just the structure of the argument, right? The other person's argument. Whenever you see an other person's argument, whenever they say some members, or they say some people, or some scientists, or some political theorists, whatever they say, most likely that's going to be someone else's argument, and whoever is writing it will disagree with them. Got that?
Yeah.
So that structure is very common. So even just that pattern, you'll start noticing. So when you start noticing these patterns, it just really speeds things up for you, because every question is not a new question anymore. It's something that's very similar to something you've already done. Got it?
Yeah.
Okay, so what you're saying is, well, yeah, there might be a financial loss. However, that's not the only thing that matters when it comes to striking. So is there an answer choice down here that aligns with what you're thinking?
See?
I think so. That's exactly what you said, right?
There could be benefits.
There you go. So do you see how easy the questions can be?
I think I have a problem. I need to break it down and then answer the question. I think that's where I also struggle with.
What do you mean? Oh, I get what you mean. I know what you mean.
Yeah.
You're saying you spend like 2 seconds up here and then you immediately go down here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone does that at the beginning. So you have to change that completely. Flip that. and you're already realizing this, but yeah, spend a lot of time up here. And then what happens is you barely have to spend any time here.
Okay.
Yeah, and overall, it will speed you up. Because at first, you're going to think, oh, why am I taking a minute just to read and understand the argument? No way I'm going to finish this question on time.
Yeah, and then I do find myself going back to the stem like a bunch.
Exactly. So then you end up taking more time anyway, right? But if you just take a little bit longer up here and really get a good understanding of it, then it's so easy. You just pick the right answer because you already know the answer. That's where we want to get to, is that you already know the right answer. You're just trying to find it in the choices. Okay?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I hope you see some of the benefits already of approaching these questions in a different way.
Oh, yeah. Big time.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So I'll share all the resources with you. Do you have any questions before we go? You can always, we have the WhatsApp group, so you can always ask questions in there, and if I have some time, I'll always lend you a hand in there. If you run into something, if you run into a question that you don't understand, you can screenshot it and send it to us in that chat, and I'll answer it if you need me. Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right. Thanks. We'll chat tomorrow then, right?
See you tomorrow. Bye.
Okay. Bye.